Ew.
There's a hair.
It's on fix.
What is up, y'all? Arianna here, and as you can see, yes, my hair is straight. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you probably haven't seen it. Y'all behind. Y'all should follow me. Shameless self-plug. Alright, says hi. So this video has been a long time coming. I haven't filmed it yet just because, I don't know, I didn't want to rehash it, relive it. But I think now, you know, I'm kind of over it, and it's time to talk about my terrible, horrific car accident. So back in May of 2016, I had just graduated, or just walked the stage. I hadn't technically graduated yet because I had to do my internship. So I had been in LA for a week. I was with my ex at the time. We had lived together, and yeah, we had been together for like 2 years at that point. And we decided one day to go to IKEA so we could get some things for the apartment that we were staying in. We were subletting an apartment at that time, kind of like under the table, where the girl who was like supposed to be renting it let us stay there. We just paid her directly instead of going through like the apartment and stuff. So we were just doing a whole bunch of sketchy stuff, but we were trying to make it out here in these LA streets. So anyway, we decided to go to IKEA, and I remember he drove there. I was like, you can just drive there and I'm gonna drive back. I'll drive back home afterwards. So we did our stuff. I was even vlogging that day. I'll insert some footage throughout this video, but we were leaving, and I remember my little Google thing was like, oh, there's a shorter route if you to avoid traffic or blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like everyone says, go by like the map and whatever. So I went by the map, and I ended up going down some like side street, and then I ended up missing my turn, and so I like looped around, and I was like a little lost. But I finally was about to get back on track. I was like, oh, okay, we're finally here. I just need to make a left turn here. It's all good. And I was sitting at the light, and the light was yellow, but there were cars coming the opposite way, so I couldn't turn. And out in LA, this is one thing that I had to learn very quickly, is that you have to turn on yellow lights because a lot of the signals, they don't have left turn signals, a lot of the traffic lights. So you just have to go when it's yellow. But at this point, I was still kind of like new, only been there a week. So I was just like, okay, well, just wait till the next time. I'll just like force myself out the next light. So I was sitting there, and then right as the light turned red, all of a sudden we heard a crash like behind us. And I remember turning and looking at my ex, and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody just got in a wreck. And we were looking right at each other, and all of a sudden the car just slammed. And the car, my whole car, like was moving out. Like I was still on the brakes. And so the car was, all you heard was skrrr, and the car was moving out in the middle of the intersection where this light had just turned green for the other people to go. And I didn't know what to do. There was glass flying everywhere from the back of my windshield. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to get out of the middle of traffic. So I was like turning my wheel, and I remember just saying, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, the whole time. And so I turned my wheel, and somehow, and I was still on the brakes this whole time. Like I didn't get off the brake because I didn't want to go somewhere else or hit a pole or hit another car or anything. So I was still on the brakes, and I was just swerving, turning the wheel. And I don't know how, but by the grace of God, I ended up like doing a full U-turn and landing on the shoulder on the other side of the road without hitting any other cars. Nobody else got hit. There was like poles, and it was like an overpass that we were under. So it was like, there was like a pole right here that we could have like slammed into or something like that. We could have slammed into the side on the other side. There's so many things that could have happened, but they didn't. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Oh, he was watching over us that day. So as soon as it happened and we stopped, I just kind of stopped, and I was just like, my heart was beating so fast. I didn't know what was going on. And because we heard the crash before, so we were like, wait a minute, how did we hear this crash if we were in it? And it turns out it was a 3-car accident. 2 other cars got in an accident and hit me, little old me, minding my own business in a whole nother lane, and hit me. So we got out of the car, and that's when it all kind of set in how real it was, because my car was like, the back of my car was just like caved in. You could see the entire tire, like the whole tire. There was nothing over it. Like, you know how a car is like built like this is the tire, and then the car is like this whole thing was gone. Like, it was like squished in. Like, my trunk was messed up. The back seat was like this. Now it was that small. Usually back seat, you know, you have like that much room. It was like this small. I'll just insert the clip here so y'all can see what it looked like. We just got in a wreck, and I thank the Lord that we're okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jesus. So there was a huge truck that was involved, and another like small red car, and the girl that was in the red car was like across the intersection on the other side, and the guy that was in the truck had stopped his truck like in the turning lane, and he immediately got out and ran over to us, make sure we were okay, and he was like apologizing and like super apologetic about everything. And then the girl was like still over there just like sitting in her car. But her car, like, it wasn't messed. Like, my car was the worst car, which was terrible. The guy in the truck, I had a little Nissan Versa, so it was easily destructible. The guy who was in a truck, only his like light was out, like one of his headlights was dented or something. And then the girl had like a scratch on the side of her car. And that was it. But my car was completely totaled, y'all. So I was livid. I was really upset, but I didn't take it out on anybody. I was just like trying to remain calm, and I was just like, the guy was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. The girl hit me and made me swerve over and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay. And so I ended up calling my dad, because I didn't know what to do. I've never been this far away from my family, and then this happened. I've never gotten in any kind of accident. I had never been in a fender bender. I had never been in a bumper stumper or whatever other wrecks there are. I'd never been involved in anything, not a hit and run, not a scratch, nothing. So this was just, I didn't know what to do. I was just like on the phone with my dad, trying not to cry, and he was like trying to convince me to come home, and I was like, Dad, no, I haven't even started my internship yet. Like, ugh. So my ex went to go talk to the girl over there, and he kind of made me mad because he was like taking the girl's side and being all nice to her, and this girl was being so rude, like being so rude. I'm like, do you not understand? You just hit my car. I was minding my own business in a whole different lane, and y'all caused this. You got a scratch and can drive away, but my car is done. My car is completely done. So I was already annoyed with her, and so I just didn't even talk to her. I was like, this little girl here, not today. Not today. So I ended up calling my friend Carla. Shout out to you, girl. She came and picked us up and took us back to our apartment. Carla always holds it down. Whenever I need something, Carla is always there. We've been friends since sixth grade. Intermediate school, and that is a down girl, I tell you. So she came, she lives in LA too. And she came, she picked up my ex and I, and drove us back to the apartment. And I was just like in the worst mood ever, but I was trying to like keep calm and be rational and think about everything, because I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out. As soon as I get back to our apartment, that's when I start handling everything. I called the insurance, I called and I started looking up attorneys just to like figure out what I needed to get done. And my insurance told me that I can go pick up a rental car. I set up all this stuff that we could do the next day. So I woke up the next morning thinking that my ex and I were gonna go and like handle this stuff together, but he wouldn't get out of bed because he said he was too sore. I was sore too, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes when things happen. My shoulder was like out of place. Like if you look at my shoulders now, like they're even a little bit. I think this is the one that was like higher, but it was like, I was like this, but I had to do what I needed to do. I couldn't turn my neck all the way because I guess I had like whiplash or something. Like this whole thing was like sore, and I could barely move, but I was like, I gotta handle business. Like I can't just sit in the bed and this is the first time that I'm gonna be driving and the first time that I'm gonna be lifting or Ubering anywhere in LA. So I was a little nervous and I had to do it all by myself. I called my Lyft and the guy was super nice, drove me downtown to go pick up my rental car. So I waited there for a little bit, had to handle all the business and the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and I got my rental car, and then I drove the rental car back to the apartment. Then when I got back, I called an attorney, and I got us, both my ex and I got us an attorney for our case, and they set us up with physical therapy. Since he was like super sore and since my shoulder was like really messed up, they were like, okay, we'll just go and get you checked out and like see what's going on. So I think it might have been the next day after that. Yeah, it might have been the next day after that we went to, we had to go to physical therapy. And so we went to this place, but it was in like a really like sketchy area that I hadn't been to yet. And it was just, I just didn't get a good feeling about it, but I was just like, you know what, let me go in and get checked out. Let's see. They recommend this place, then we'll just go and see what's going on. All they did was put on these little patches, these like electric little patches that's like send like electric current through. And so it like shocks your, wherever they put the little thing. So it was like shocking on my shoulder, like zzz, 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 or whatever. And then they were like, okay, you're done. And so I was like, okay. But then when I was about to start my internship, I had to switch the location because the place that they sent me to originally wasn't on my way to the internship. It would have been out of the way. And y'all, thank the Lord that I moved locations. So the new physical therapy place was like closer to Beverly Hills. I'm not sure if it was actually in Beverly Hills, but it was closer. And I didn't know what physical therapy was supposed to be like until I went to this place. They did the electric things, and then they give you a massage, then they aligned your spine, then they aligned your neck, and did all this stuff like that was supposed to be done in the first place from the first physical therapy place, but they didn't. They just did the little electric things, and my ex was still going to this one, and he would come home with horror stories every single day about how they messed up. One time they put the little zzz on the little electric things on him, and they turned it up too high, and he said he felt like he was getting electrocuted, and he couldn't even talk. He was like, I was like, why didn't you say anything? But he said he couldn't talk because he was really getting electrocuted. So soon after, they declared my car a total loss. And at this point, I had already started my internship, so I've been able to drive the rental car to my internship for the first like week or two. And they had to, because they had to evaluate my car and all that kind of stuff. And they declared it a total loss, that it would cost more to fix the car than the car was worth. So since they declared the car a total loss, that meant that I couldn't have the rental car anymore, because you can only have the rental car for as long as it takes to like get your car fixed. And since my car wasn't fixable, they were like, you have to turn in your rental car. So I was just like, okay. So I had no car. And then all of a sudden I started getting calls from like my land holder about my car, and they were like, yeah, you need to make the payment. And I was like, oh, my car was declared a total loss like a week ago. They said that they sent in the papers. I shouldn't be paying on a car that's already declared total loss. They were like, oh no, we didn't get any papers, so you need to pay. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not about to pay a car note on a car that already got declared total loss. They need to send in these papers. So I called the attorney, and they were like, oh, we're gonna send in the papers, we're gonna send it in, and they never did. So the whole time my credit is getting messed up because they didn't send it in the papers they were supposed to send it a long time ago. And then they told me that what my car was worth was less than what I owed. So they were saying that that I would have to pay out of pocket for my car. And I was like, wait a minute, why would I have to pay if I didn't like cause a wreck? I'm not at fault. And they were like, well, that's just what you're gonna have to do because that's what the car is worth and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That does not sound right at all. And then I kept telling the attorney, I was like, hey, like I'm doing this internship and I go 5 days a week. So the best way to contact me is through email. Because they asked in the beginning, what is the best way to contact you? And I said through email. But did they email me ever? Barely, maybe twice. And they kept calling me. They kept calling me throughout the day. And I kept telling them, hey, I'm working. I'm at a new internship. And I need to get through this internship to get my degree. So I can't answer during the day. And also, like, I could probably step outside and take the call and things like that. But I wasn't trying to bring any of that. If there's a way to prevent having to, like, leave my workstation and leave what I'm doing, like, to go handle a phone call. If there's a way to prevent that, then I'm gonna prevent it. So I was like, can you please just send me an email, because I'm on my computer all day, I can respond to my email really fast, and that's better for me. Especially because, y'all, I was trying to get hired. I was trying to stay in LA, so I'm trying to make a good impression, and they keep blowing up my phone, so I'm sitting there, my phone vibrating loud and stuff. I'm trying to get work done, so I was getting annoyed. For those of y'all that don't know, my internship, part of my internship was a show for Awesomeness TV called The Intern Life. And I remember we had this challenge. We had to put together a show, like a quick listicle show. That was one of Awesomeness's shows back in the day. And I was put in charge of like the whole thing. So we were doing the whole thing, putting everything together, and I just felt like I had a whole bunch of pressure on me, and I was going through so much. So it came time to shoot. And I remember we were trying to use my phone as the teleprompter, and of course the attorney would call when everything's going wrong, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I told these people not to call me, and of course they would call me right now just to remind me of everything else that's going wrong. This is going wrong, and my outside world is going wrong. Of course they would call, and y'all, I cried on camera. I was so embarrassed because it wasn't even a cute cry, it was an ugly cry because my life was really falling apart. So after that was when I was just like, okay, I can't deal with these people anymore if they're not going to respect what I keep telling them, and they're not going to listen to me, and they're trying to make me pay out of pocket for my car when I know there's gotta be another way. I can't deal with these people. So I ended up getting a new attorney and swapping everything over. And the new attorneys told me within like the first week that I had this thing called gap insurance, which covered the whole cost of my car. I didn't know I had gap insurance because when I went to go get my car, I was with my dad, and so I was just like doing whatever he said. But they found that out within the first week. I was like, how did these people in this whole time not figure out that I had gap insurance and kept trying to make me pay out of pocket? I didn't have however much they were trying to make me pay. But then the new attorney found this out within a week. Like, you got to be kidding me. But I was grateful and thankful that I did not have to pay for my car, that I didn't have anymore. And so grateful for the new attorney that was handling everything. So during this whole time, I ended up having to Uber everywhere. And if you live in LA, then you know how far downtown is from Santa Monica. And the old Awesomeness TV office was near Santa Monica. And I lived downtown close to USC. Like, I was living in a student apartment on the USC campus. And I had to Uber there, but luckily my friend Drew, who y'all may know from The Intern Life if you watched it as Jersey Drew, he lived nearby too, so he would take me to work and we would carpool and stuff, and he was just the sweetest. And thank you, Drew, for helping me out. I really appreciate it so much. I feel like I don't tell people enough that I appreciate them, but Carla, I appreciate you. Drew, I appreciate you. All my friends that were there for me during this time, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all. But on the days that we weren't filming the show and I was going to intern with my own internship, I would have to Uber, and these Ubers were so expensive. They were like $40 to $50 one way sometimes, and I would have to get home. So sometimes I would spend up between $50 to $100 every single day just to get to my internship, and my internship was unpaid, so the only way that I was making money was through YouTube. But I also didn't have enough time to make as many videos as I wanted because I was there 5 days a week, and I only had like the weekends. But then on the weekends I was trying to deal with all the stuff going on and make the phone calls and deal with all the people, and I was pretty much doing all this by myself. I was handling all the attorney stuff by myself, finding the attorney, handling all the cards, like just handling all this stuff on my own. So it was a lot on my plate. I was like, I need to get hired. I need to make sure I do well in my internship so that I can get my degree, and I need to keep my life together and keep up a good face, a good front. But y'all, I was so stressed. I was so broke from using all my money on Uber and trying to live. It was so hard. And because of this, I ended up having to end physical therapy a little earlier than they wanted me to, because they want you to go for a certain amount of time so they can like really analyze what's going on with you or whatever they do. But I just could not afford to go there because I'd have to go drive Uber to Beverly Hills and then Uber to Santa Monica, West LA area after that, and it was just so much money. It was too much money. And while all this was going down, this was around the same time that everybody came to visit in LA, and everyone stayed for like a really long time. And I was trying to be like a good sport, a good host, but like I know everybody could probably tell something was going on with me, but I was just trying to be like normal. But inside I'm just like, everything was crumbling. I was just trying so hard to have my game face on, y'all. Oh, it was so intense. And at the end of the summer, I ended up getting hired at Awesomeness, which is the goal of the summer. I was like, I want to get hired and I'm trying to get me a job and stay in LA. And I did, thank the Lord. And I prayed, I prayed, and I prayed. I ended up getting a great apartment with an amazing roommate. And finally, almost a year after the wreck, I got my check in the mail. That following April 2017, and I got me a new car. And I stopped spending all my money on Uber. Now I spend my money on gas. But I'm so grateful and thankful that I was able to get a job that paid enough for me to Uber wherever I needed to go, which is pretty much like work and back. And that I was able to get a new car. And I also got a new laptop when I got the check, because my other laptop had literally just broken. Or it was just acting so crazy and so funky. And I was like, I need to make my videos. And I was able to get a new laptop. And y'all, it was probably one of the worst summers, worst and best, because there were so many good experiences that I had while I was interning, and so many people that I met, and so many amazing things that I never thought could happen. So I guess it was like the worst and best summer of my life. First off, I'm grateful that nobody got hurt in the wreck, or seriously hurt or injured or anything. And then and I'm grateful that I was able to still intern and still do what I needed to do to get my degree and get a job. And I was so grateful that I was finally able to get a new car. So everything ended up working out, even though it took almost a year to for everything to finally settle down and fizzle down. But I'm just so grateful that that whole thing is over. But anyway, that is the long and crazy story of my first car wreck when my car was totaled. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I would usually in these videos I say, if you have a crazy story like this, comment down below. But these are not, car wrecks are terrible. So how about everybody in the comments, name something you're grateful for down below. I'm grateful to be out of that situation. I'm so grateful. So name something you're grateful for down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And turn those post notifications on. Love when you guys comment. Notification squad. I'm gonna start giving shout outs. That's what I'm gonna start giving notifications shout outs. So if you're part of the notification squad, notification gang, let me know in the comments down below. And I will give shout outs to a couple people in my next video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.